The convective zone behaves much like a pot of boiling oatmeal or soup. What we see are patterns called granules that show that material at the bottom layer of the convection zone, where it's hottest, are rising up to the surface of the sun, which is the top layer of the convection zone. And then we can see these cells, these granular cells, moving across, and then the cool gas falls back down again to the bottom layer where it's heated, and then it rises back up. So this convection pattern is really what indicates that we've gotten to the surface of the sun. And we can see these granules on the surface. You see them as large bubble-like features with dark regions in between. So this top level of the convection zone that we've discovered is what we call the photosphere, literally the light sphere. And this is what we recognize as the surface of the sun as we know it. The reason that we recognize this as the photosphere, or as the surface, is that the internal layers are opaque, but the external layers above the photosphere are transparent, so we can see through them. So this is the layer where this transition happens. We found out earlier that the core of the sun is 15 million degrees, but this surface of the sun is only between 5,000 and 6,000 degrees, which comparatively is much, much cooler. In addition to the granules that we can see in the photosphere, this is also where we can see things like sunspots. If you've been fortunate enough to get your hands on some eclipse glasses, you can actually use these glasses to look at the sun safely, even if there isn't an eclipse happening. Just be careful to put your glasses on first before you start to look at the sun. If there are large enough sunspots, usually about the size of the Earth by comparison, you might be able to see them with your naked eye. Once the light and energy particles get to the surface of the sun, they're then free to propagate into space. And these photons are what we receive at Earth and what we see as the sun shining in the sky. It takes about 8 minutes for the light from the photosphere to leave the sun and to reach the Earth, which means that if something was to happen to the sun, we wouldn't know about it for 8 whole minutes. It also means that we're looking back in time a little ways. The sun that we see in the sky is actually the sun of 8 minutes ago.